Trying this again. Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I am going to make sure that I am sharing this to my Facebook page because I went live a few minutes ago and it was not going live, and so I just want to make sure that it's being shared. I know that when you are streaming through some of these different systems, it is acting kind of weird today or just right now because they're doing a lot of changes. So let me make sure I share. If you hop on, let me know you're on. Okay. I'm Liv Arnold. If you don't know who I am, I know this is like going directly to my YouTube channel as well. So once you get on, let me know that you are on. So let me just check on Facebook, see what's going on over there. It's not going live over here. Okay. So give me a second. Let me just share this real quick over on Facebook. And see if it's on my Instagram. I mean, on my YouTube. Let's see. Okay. All right. There we go. We're on YouTube. I need to get it to Instagram. I mean, to Facebook, y'all. So give me a second. Okay. All right. There we go. We're on Okay, here we go. If you are here, just let me know you're here. I am going. Oh, hey, Selena. Yeah, I went live and I cut it off because I noticed it wasn't streaming through my Facebook page. Why? I don't know. But nonetheless, here we are. So let me share it. Do me a favor, share it on your page. Once you get on, I'm sharing it now on mine. Let's see. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, there we go. All right, so welcome. I am super excited, y'all. Listen, it is Friday, and if you made it through the week, I need you to give yourself a round of applause. Okay, go ahead and give yourself a round of applause for getting through the week because not that it was like a hard week. However, it was just a week. All right. A lot of heaviness, a lot of things going on. And so just give yourself a round of applause. Amen. All right, cool. So I just shared it. Hopefully, I don't need to get off of here and go on Facebook. We're going to roll with it. I shared it to my Facebook page. Those who can watch will watch it later. Usually I like to get it through my Facebook because that's where a vast majority of my audience is. But we're gonna try something new today, right? The Lord is telling us to get out of our routines anyway. So let's try something new. So anyway, welcome to today's broadcast. I am really going to be with y'all quickly. I know I always say that, but I really do mean it because I have a lot to do today. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. The sun is shining out here in Cleveland. It was gloomy the last few days, but today is shining. Beautiful sunshine. And so I just wanted to share something with y'all. One, God was just really sharing with me that there is more. Okay. Um, the YouTube link is showing on Facebook. Okay. Thank you, Selena. I appreciate that. I just shared it on there myself on my page. I don't know why it's not streaming to my page, but it is what it is. Um, it is what it is. Let me actually share this to my stories too. Um, Kind of interesting today, but that's all right. So anyway, um, the Lord was really just sharing with me that there is more, y'all. There really is more. Um, I want to share with y'all my testimony, just a testimony of something that the Lord has been doing for me and in me just the last few months. Because I really do believe that a lot of people have found themselves here, right? A lot of people have found themselves in this just very, it's not really slummy, but almost at this intersection of not knowing how to navigate, right? This week, there was something that I heard somebody say, and he said, With every high that there is a low. With every high, there is a low. I need somebody to just think about that for a moment. With every high, there is a low. And when you think about the fact that uh you could be literally moving and walking with God, and if you're not anchored properly, if you are not, if your foundation is not completely anchored in him in any kind of capacity, when a wind blows or when something comes, it can begin to knock you down, right? And so this is where I found myself at a few months ago. I found myself in this place. Thank you, Father. I found myself in this place a few months ago where I was like, I had been moving with God, I had been doing a lot of different things that I know the Lord had told me to do. But I'm be honest, I was not prepared for the wind to come. And let me say this: I had a prayer group. I was doing prayer a lot. And there was a prophetic word that he released in the prayer group, and he said that there was a whirlwind that was coming, right? And he said, when the whirlwind begins to come, you have to be positioned accordingly, meaning when this whirlwind comes, it can do one of two things. When a tornado begins to come, either it can clear a path, right, for you to move into another place, or it can create a level of chaos. And if you're not anchored, if you don't understand what's happening, you may be positioned or placed in this position where you think that it is chaos, when God is saying, no, I'm actually trying to create a path for you. And so I had not gotten some things in order that I needed to get in order, meaning just emotionally. And so, or even in my business. So meaning I was just doing a lot of movement, right? I was working a lot. I had no boundaries. I was working from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. And I had been doing that for a while. And at some point the shoe began to drop, right? The shoe just began to drop. And so what ended up happening was that whirlwind that I had to release, I released the word. When you think about somebody prophetically releasing a word, you think that they're just talking to everybody else. But a lot of times when they're releasing a word, they have to eat that word for themselves. Okay. And so I get the word, I release the word, but now the whirlwind's coming, and boom, I get knocked down, right? But how many of you know that what happens, God can use all things for the good, right? And so what ended up happening was I was in such an uncomfortable place because I felt like I was in a pit. And really, truthfully, I felt like I was in that place for a long time. It wasn't just the wind that began to come. It was that there was so much that I was holding on and gripping hold of so many things, that and not letting go of enough stuff, that I let it bog me down, right? The way the Lord really referred to it as was like, you're being more like Martha than you are trying to be like Mary, right? And so I'm in what I feel like a pit. And so one day I got tired. I got really tired, but this wasn't me. Let me express. This wasn't me. This was the Lord saying, I'm coming for you. And so I was exhausted. I was very, very tired, but I came to the Lord and I said, God, I'm tired, right? I'm tired. And what I began to see around me was that there were people around me who God had started coming to their house and began to do this level of healing, right? And now, mind you, this is a word that God also allowed me to release. He also allowed me to hear this maybe a few months ago, or maybe last year sometime. He said, I am coming to do a deep rooted healing, right? And a lot of times when God speaks a word, maybe it's not that time because it has to happen at an appointed time for you to receive it. But this was the word of the Lord. I am coming to do a deep rooted healing on my children. And he very much specifically highlighted intercessors. Okay. And so when he did that, when he said that, we're looking and expecting this deep rooted healing, but me being completely oblivious in that moment, right? I knew that there was a lot going on, a lot of movement, but I did not recognize that I needed level of deep rooted healing, right? Now, this is transparent. I'm being honest because a lot of time people look at you, they hold you to a standard, and they think that, oh, she has it together. Like, okay, yeah, it doesn't mean you're not anointed. It doesn't mean that God doesn't have something major for you to do. It doesn't have to mean that you're not impactful and that you don't do mighty and great works, but you have to go through another level of healing, that so God can begin to remove some things, so that that weight that has been bogging you down means you can now go, but you can go up higher, right? And so I have to be transparent because this is also somebody's testimony. There's other leaders, there's other people who are running businesses and running ministries who have felt bogged down, but they feel like that there is no end. That is why I'm sharing this. All right. And so I see people around me being healed. Yes, you got to make room. You have to make room. And if you know me and you understand, or you've been following me for any length of time, you've heard dreams that I have shared about God showing me I had to make room because there was a door. And in those particular, some of those dreams weren't just for me; they were very specific for our body. We gotta begin to release things that we've been holding on to, right? And so, anyway, I see people around me being healed. And then God began to bring me into the remembrance of a vision that I had a few years back. And like I said, some of these things are very, time, they have a time step on them, right? They have to happen in a point in time because God wants to make sure He's your father. He loves you. He knows you enough to understand that in this particular time, she's going to receive this. God ain't trying to set you up for a failure. And so in this particular time, He reminds me, He says, do you remember the vision that you had where you were on your knees and you were holding out a cup and everybody was in the line before you and there were people behind you and the line was wrapped around and you see me coming down the line and I'm pouring out of my vessel into these cups and there was overflow. And I began to just remember that vision. It was one of the visions that I had, probably one of the first visions I ever had. And I was just like, I remember standing there still and stuck, seeing this vision. Visions, if you don't know anything about visions may seem like you're sitting there for minutes or hours, but you're really just sitting there for seconds, right? And so God has the ability to transport this information or download this information into you in a matter of seconds and give you an entire vision. And so He's given me that particular vision. I see it. He reminds me of that. He says, I have not forsaken you. Just as you seen me coming down the line to pour into these cups or these vessels, right? As excruciating as it can be, right? If you've ever gone to the gym, and I've shared this before, if you've ever gone to the gym and you were holding on to that ball up to a wall and you was like, listen, you wanted to say some choice words to your trainer and you like, I don't want to hold this cup out no more. I don't want to hold this ball out no more. That's what it was in this dream. I mean, this vision. I'm holding this cup out. I didn't relent. I was like, I'm going to hold this cup out, right? I'm going to do this and believe that God, whatever He's pouring into their vessels and this overflow, He's going to have enough to get to me. And in the vision, He did. And so as He reminded me of that, He says, listen, I'm hitting their house, but I'm coming to you. And so I come into a place and I said, Father, I'm tired. I'm tired of doing it on my own. I'm tired of doing it on my own. I want to know you as my Abba because I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm by myself and I need you, right? That moment required me to make a decision. It required me to make a decision. And I won't share every single moment and thing that I said to him because these were very intimate moments. You don't share everything that you have, that happens with your natural father, right? If your brother, because it's for you, it's for you. You don't share when your dad may take you out on a particular outing that he didn't take your sister out on, right? And so, because that moment was what you needed. And so I'm not going to share everything, but in transparency, I've had to make a decision that I wanted to know God as my father and that I knew that I wasn't on this earth by myself, and that I knew that all the promises that he had said, listen, all he said, this is a time, and I don't want to keep jumping around, but he said, this is a season where many promises are going to begin to be manifested. Why? Because there are things that are probable and there are things that are inevitable, and the inevitable has to happen or it makes me a liar. And so they have to happen. And I need to position you. I need to get you in the right place, in the right mindset, I need your emotions to be in alignment. I need you to be well in your mental. I need you to take on the mind of Christ so that you won't squander what I'm getting ready to give to you, because in the right time it shall come. And so I'm sitting there talking to the Lord, and whoever, if you picking up what you need to pick up in the middle of what I'm putting down, okay, pick it up. But I'm sitting there talking to the Lord, and I said, God, I'm decided, no more. And so there was actually a progression of things that happened where God began to do this work on me. He had began to do the work on me, and then He began to send reinforcement. Literally, He began to send some reinforcement that came for me. And I was like, okay, they came for me. They helped me get up and helped me get out. And then I go to a few different services. I'm like, I'm gonna go up there for prayer. I feel good. I feel okay. I feel better. But let's get some more reinforcement. Get some more reinforcement. I go to the service. They come to me. They speaking to me, but they didn't come. They didn't say what I came up there for prayer for. They just said, "You got it. You got it. That's it. You're ignited. You're activated. You got it. It's there." But sometimes when you're caught up in your emotions, right, you think that it's gone. You think that God's not with you, but the word says that there can be nothing that separates you from him. And so your emotions, the enemy would love to plague you with all these lies and all these emotional distresses and all these things. And so all this time I'm thinking, man, am I far? No, I wasn't, right? I wasn't. You just need to come up. And so then I go to another service. We're talking about somewhere around Easter or something like that. And God began to do some work in it. Man, I can't share all of it. It's just so amazing. But what I will say is that he came for me and he began to do this deep rooted healing in my soul that began to usher me into another place in my calling and in my assignments. And so God will never let you go through something that he won't use. And it's not that this stuff, he wants to put you through something so that he can get something out of it. It's just, he says, whatever the enemy meant for evil, I'm going to use it for the good. I'm going to get something out of it. And that was another thing I prayed. I said, God, get something out of everything in my life. Lord, leave no crumbs untouched. Leave no crumbs untouched. That was a prayer. Lord, take every element and piece of my life that the enemy tried to use to bring forth the destruction to me and my destiny and use it for your glory. And then he began to use things from my past that God had delivered me from. He began to use those things to help bring forth warnings and healing and deliverance to people that I didn't even think I was about to be ministering to or helping or talking to or having conversations with, because God can just speak through a conversation. I hope this is helping somebody. If it helps you, let me know it helps you. Let me know it helps you. Because my story, my testimony is not just for me. My results is what I receive from the testimony. But the evidence is what you receive. The evidence is the proof that if God did it for me, he can do it for you. And so here's the word of the Lord. He is doing a deep-rooted healing. And you're going to have to guard your eyes. You're going to have to guard your heart, baby, guard your gates, because when it happens, it may begin to start around you. And you want to make sure that you are not in a place of jealousy. You want to make sure you're not in a place of envy. You want to make sure that you don't allow anything to cause you to stumble. You don't want to let the enemy ensnare you and entrap you in a place where he can accuse you. You want to make sure you stay pure, baby. Pray for those around you. I was praying for those around me as I seen them blossoming and flourishing. I was giving into people's lives. I was helping people when I needed to be helped. And so God began to come for me. Keep your heart, because I kept my heart pure. I kept my heart pure. Giving away stuff that I needed. And other people begin to use for them, and it's fine. I'm thankful that I had something to give. I'm thankful. Think about the lady that just had the coin who wanted to go give, and Jesus said, I honor what she has even more, because she gave everything she had to give. And so keep your heart pure, because when the Father comes to your house, well, let me backtrack. Keep your heart pure and stay in position. Because when the Father comes to your house to bring forth an outpouring, to bring forth the contents that he has to pour into your cup that will bring forth a level of abundance, because there is abundance coming. Yes, there's all kind of stuff happening in the earth. Absolutely. And people are ready to listen, I'm just going to stop. But no, the Lord said to not stop having faith. He said to not stop trusting, not stop believing. He's giving you a measure of faith, baby. What are you spending your faith on? Don't spend your faith on everything that you see out there. Listen to what he is saying. Take it. Don't put your head in the sand. Remember what he is saying. And guess what? Don't be discouraged. Trust God. No fear. Have faith in him. Only fear we have is the fear of the Lord. That is it. But trust that his promises will begin to manifest in your life. And the sound, I was teaching a class on Wednesday, and one thing I was sharing with them is that sound precedes manifestation. I need you to repeat that. Sound precedes manifestation. Sound precedes manifestation. Meaning, your word goes out. First of all, the word of the Father goes out. Meaning the word of the Father's gone out, meaning he's already done what he needs to do for you. So it's already done. It's already in front of you. You just got to go walk into it. Your praise begins to create a sound. Your worship begins to create a sound. Guess what? Because you worship, because you praised, even in the midst of what looked obscure, you will begin to see a manifestation of something. So don't stop your praise. As you begin to release what the Lord has done, that is a sound. The manifestation of that will be fruit of other people being able to walk over a bridge, because of what you allow God to use through you. Yeah. And so I want to share something also with you, because if this is helping you at any kind of capacity, right? Which I believe that it will. I believe that it is. I believe that I'm not the only one with a testimony. I believe that there are other people that have testimonies. Some of us have looked at what God has given us, and we have looked at it so small because we have this false expectation of what it should look like or where it should be. And we're discounting the very thing that God says, I need you to use to help other people. And this always takes me back to Elijah, when I think it's in 1 Kings 4. Let me look it up because I don't like to get scripture wrong. But he had encountered this woman. Yeah, 2 Kings 4, excuse me. He had encountered this woman, and the woman was saying, listen, these men is trying to come after me. My husband died, and they're going to try to take my sons because my husband owed them a debt. And well, if they take my sons, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Elijah says, what do you have? What do you have in your hand, basically? And she says, nothing. And then she said, wait a minute. I have some oil. Now, what made that lady think of some oil? I don't know, but she's like, I got some oil, right? But it was such a small thing. She could have literally overlooked that. She did overlook it, but then she came back, right? She was quickened and came back and said, I got some oil. And he said, all right, cool. Now he downloaded some strategy for her. That oil that she had began to help pay all her debts, and her sons could live off of that oil. Because now she began to create some streams of income. The oil, the streams of income began to be the byproduct of what she had in her hand that began to help other people, right? I'm sure she ate off the oil, cooked with the oil, but really she used that oil for some other people. What does that say, baby? Don't forget about your oil. Don't forget about your oil. That hard place that had to be pressed, that's where the oil was created. Don't forget about your oil. And so there's oil that you have, and you don't see it. You don't think it's there. But God is coming to bring forth emotional healing, mental healing, soul healing, wound healing, so that you can begin to see clearly. So that you can begin to see clear what you really truly actually have, that you can use, that the enemy thought was going to destroy you. that he thought was going to give him the victory, but he forgot whose child you were, because Jesus died for every victory, died for everything that would give you and gave you victory, excuse me. And so today I want you to begin to assess what you have. And many of you have a testimony. Many of you have a level of expertise that you have been discounting. You didn't think it was anything. And God says, I want you to use that for my people. And the byproduct of that can also mean that you monetize it. It can become a business. It can become a coaching. It can become a book. It can become your gateway into speaking at different events. It can become something that begins to fill your house with wealth. God is saying, listen, he is trying to prepare us, because we are going to go into a time where things are really dead and dark. But the thing that's going to be light are you. You're going to be light, because you're going to be like a light on the hill. You're going to be one of the most alive things that people see. He's trying to prepare us. So he's saying, what do you have in your hand that you can begin to use? Because I'm trying to filter wealth through your household. And so today, I just want you to begin to assess that. All right? I want you to begin to assess it. I want to also let you know, because this is Friday and I'm super excited. If you know anything about me, I like to pop up, pop up, pop up. I'm going to have to reshare this on my Facebook, because it's not, I don't know, it's not really populating on my Facebook, but that's all good. I popped up with an ebook yesterday. Okay, I did. I popped up with this ebook. This ebook I had really been working on. It really had been on my heart. And because one of the things that I do in my ministry, my business, my ministry is my business. The two dichotomies are together for me in many aspects. They're separate, but in many aspects, they also marry one another. Is I help bring forth, creativity. I help ignite my clients with creativity. Yes, Facebook did change, but I didn't put it on through my groups. I only put it on my personal page. And so I thought that you could still share on your personal page. So, I don't know, but I don't know, but that's okay. Um, so I help ignite, create my clients with the confidence to create. And what I've noticed is that a lot of clients come to me because they don't know where to start, or because they're dealing with this level of fear, or these mental hindrances, imposter syndrome, comparison, self-doubt, self-sabotage, and they're like, I know it's something in me, but I need to get it out. And so I also serve as a marketplace midwife or ministry midwife, just to help them get it out, right? I do a number of things. I do coaching, I do consulting, I do I do a lot of branding that goes along with those things. I teach, because I love being able to help my clients be sustainable, where they don't always need me. And what I like to call it, and I got this from a dream. God speaks to me here heavily through dreams, but I really want to help those I serve get off of their sides, because that's what the kingdom is about. It's about helping us get up, and because there's other people who need what we have so that they can move forward as an ecosystem. And so, yeah, that is what I do. And so, I do that in multiple ways. I do that through, like I said, coaching, consulting, writing books, writing different resources to teach you how, so that you know how, so that that can be your last excuse, right? I do workshops, I do speaking. Baby, I just added transformational speaker to my list. Okay. Um, and I'm grateful to do it. I love that God has allowed me to do this work. And so I wrote a book, an ebook. It's called She's Got a Story, and it is committed. It is for women. I mean, it's highlighted for women, but anybody can actually get the book and download it, because it doesn't specify women in the book at all. But that is my market. That is really who follows me, or I help and serve more. And so that's the book that I wrote. And really, it is going over, man, there's so much that I include in this particular book. I really poured my heart out into it. I've been working on it for like the last 2 months, um, along with like other books and stuff that I'm working on. And finally, I just sat down and said, let's just get this thing out, because I felt like now more than ever is it really needed. But it is a comprehensive guide. So it's not just an ebook. I know most people think of ebooks, oh, this little ebook is not really a little ebook. It's almost like 3 different ebooks in one, because it's 68 pages. All right. So you're going to get coaching. You're going to get some framework. You're going to get, what people who are writing coaches give to their clients. You are going to get some ideas on how to format your story, how to narrate your story, how to leverage your story for courses, journals, speaking engagements, other books, writing multiple books, where to start, how to monetize this book, how to price this book, these books, and these different things. It really serves as a comprehensive guide, and I'm super excited to have poured that out. And so I am it's now available on my site. There is also a bundle, okay, for y'all bundlers, whoever want to be real and trill, because a lot of times people take these books and they don't read it. But I also created the bundle for those who are ready. The bundle actually has a 108 plus page ebook slash workbook template that you can edit on Canva, already there and ready for you. It has it also has a curated Canva list. So these aren't graphics I created, although y'all know me, I've been designing graphics for a very long time. Okay. But it has 50 curated ebook graphics in there. Some of my favorite graphics that I use for my clients when I'm trying to teach them how to utilize Canva. I curated the list. That's why it's in there. It takes time to curate that list. Okay. Most people don't know how to even locate some of these graphics. And so I curated an entire list for you so that you have no reason to say, I can't promote. I don't know how to design it. And then y'all end up putting, if you know something about me too, I do not like just those, I don't like raggedy graphics. So I'm sorry. I believe in representing yourself well, because when you represent yourself well, then other people look at it a certain way. And so I provided those graphics in there. And there's also a KDP template. Because if you've ever known anybody to put anything on KDP is real raggedy sometimes, and how you format your book and the sizing. And so there is a sizing template in this. We're talking about a bundle that is valued at $144. Actually, really more than that. I'm be honest, because what I poured out in framework, what I poured out in strategy is there's no value that you can put on that. But it's not 144. Okay. All right. It's only the bundle itself is only $67, and the ebook itself is only 27. And it should have probably been more than that, but that's okay. That's okay. I wanted to make sure that it was like everybody could get it. All right. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you purchase either the book today or you purchase the bundle today, you will get an invitation to a class that I am giving for free for you. Okay. You get the exclusive invites to the class. Everybody else will get the invite next week. You'll get a free invitation to the class next week. I mean, it's for May 7th at 7 p.m. It's called She's Got a Story class. We're not just really we're walking through the book, baby, but you're going to get ignited. You're going to get some ideas. We're going to talk about testimony. We're going to talk about how you narrate this story. We're going to talk about pricing strategies. We're going to answer your questions. If you have been fumbling around with an idea, we're going to do all that in that class. And so if you buy it today, you're going to get that today. All right. And so, yes, I'm super excited. I'm always grateful for God to allow me to pour out my information. I mean, I'm talking about, this is a decade plus of information, from all the many clients that I've served. Okay. Many clients of pricing, many clients of branding, many things. I've done so much, and I'm thankful for God to afford me to do this. And so I pray that it helps you today. And so I love y'all. I thank you for tuning in. Whoever watches the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this page. I always wanted to say that. I always, deep down in my soul, I always wanted to tell people to like, share, and subscribe. Okay. So anyway, I just pray for you. I pray you have a beautiful weekend. If you are in Cleveland, baby, get out. The weather is gorgeous. Okay. We're talking about 80s. All right. I'm gonna have on a whole dress tomorrow. I'm excited for that. But I love you all. Have a good day.